Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Ben Clark and I'm a quadriplegic personal trainer. Before we get started on today's workout, be sure that you have sought medical advice from a medical professional before undertaking anything you do in this video. Also, make sure that you stay within your limits and to keep hydrated throughout the whole thing. Without further ado, I think it's time that we start today's workout. Okay guys, so for today's workout we are going to be doing a shoulder stability resistance band workout, and to do that we're going to need a resistance band just like this one. Doesn't matter if you've got a resistance band like this, you can use whatever you've got in terms of resistance bands. Be sure though that you check that it's in good working order before you do it. This one's a fairly light one, you're not going to need much resistance today. Also, another thing to note is that we're going to need to attach it to something. I've attached it to my table leg, but I've got a very heavy desk and it's very stable indeed. Make sure that whatever you're tying it to, one, isn't going to break when you start putting resistance on it, and two, isn't going to fall over. So you don't want like a lightweight table or like a door handle even that could come off and hit you in the face. So be sure to check all of that before you get started. If you don't have anything you can attach it to, if you've got somebody else that's in the house with you, they can hold on to it nice and secure. Just make sure they're not going to let go, or you're not going to let go either at some point. And there's various ways you can connect to this if you've got any difficulty with hand function. So you can use active hand grips and sort of grip them on and do it that way, or if you've got the D-rings you can combine that with a carabiner and clip them on, and that just makes life a little bit easier for this. But let's move on with the actual exercise we'll be doing today, and let's get started off with a little bit of a warm-up. It's always important to warm up, so let's get that started. You don't need the resistance band. We're just going to start with doing some mobility drills with our arms. So let's start swinging this arm around forwards and do the biggest circles that you can. Don't worry if you can't go very big with this, just go as much as you can, okay? We're going to do about 10 circles forwards, and then we're going to switch direction and then go 10 circles backwards. Good work. Make sure you've got lots of space to do this, you don't want to be hitting anything. Good, let's go other arm now. So I'm hitting my plant now, I'm going to be out of the way slightly. You guys carry on though. There we go. And backwards. Good work. Okay, so the next one we're going to do for this warm-up is we're going to be touching our opposite shoulders with our hands, so it's going up and over and touching opposite shoulder. If you can't get that far, just come up and reach this shoulder, and if you can't get all the way up there, just come up like this. Just get as far over as you can, just like so. There we go. Good work. Excellent. And then taking both arms, you go reach up as high as you can. Again, if you can't go all the way up, don't worry. Also, you can do it single arm as well, if that is easier for you. And then just swap an arm. Do like 3 on one arm, 3 on the other, and then swap back. I'm going to do double arm. Good. And we're going to stretch out our chest a little bit as well. So bringing our hands out to the side, just like that. Good. We'll just finish off here with some shoulder rotations backwards. Excellent. And then taking it forwards. Unless you went forwards last time, you can go backwards now. Good work. Okay, so let's get started on the session we're doing today. Grab your resistance band, just like so. And what we want to be doing is facing perpendicular to the anchor point. So it's at your side, just like so. And you want to have the resistance to start about here. So here it's about slack, and in your midpoint here, that's when the resistance starts, okay? We don't want a massive amount, but we want it to start here. So we don't want it slacked all the way out here, because otherwise we're not going to get the workout that we want in. And from here, what we're going to do, we're going to have our elbow tucked into our side here, into our, our upper arm here in our rib cage, and that's going to stay here throughout the whole range of motion. Okay, so we're going to go for 15 reps of just twisting it outwards, and what this is doing is strengthening up our rotator cuffs. And I'll explain more about that as we go through. So let's get going with this. And we're going to do 15 of these. We're going to do 3 sets. 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Excellent. Now the reason we want to be working these external rotator cuffs, so you've got your shoulder joint has got a lot of these little muscles in that help rotate it. When we're pushing our wheelchair, on our phones, on our laptops, the ones that internally rotate, they get tighter, and because they're getting used so much. And what happens is the ones at the back become weaker in that. So what happens is your posture gets worse, and it's really hard to correct it without doing the exercise that we need to do. So this is a fantastic exercise for helping correct that. We're externally rotating with a bit of resistance, and that's going to help our posture, which helps our breathing, and it helps with our long-term shoulder health. And as you know, in wheelchairs, that's super important. Let's go for the second set here. Off we go. And that's kind of the idea of this whole workout that we're doing, is to help build shoulder stability, okay? So, as I said, shoulders for wheelchair users, super important to keep nice and healthy over a long time. 13, 14, 15. Now on this, you'll feel a little bit of a burn sensation while you're doing it. That's fine. That's the right kind of pain. So it's not as long as it's not causing like actual sharp pains, that's fine. If you get sharp pains like that, just stop and seek somebody like a physio or something that can help you out a little bit further there. But for this, we're just going to stick with it if you're doing alright, and if you've got that sort of slight burning pain, that's not too bad. So it's like it feels like it gets warm and it gets achy. So it's like a warm, achy pain. That's a good pain. Alright then, let's go for the last set here on this arm. Make sure you're keeping that elbow tucked in, and off we go. 6, 10, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I'm going to swap sides now. So you won't see me as much from the front, but you'll be able to see from the back. It all tucked in there. And you can probably see the elbow a little bit better in terms of how it stays tucked in. Okay, let's go for this side now. Straight into it, off we go. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Good work, everyone. So that's one set. We've got 2 more sets on this arm to go. And the idea of this isn't to be particularly hard or difficult. The idea behind it is more to get those muscles working. So the resistance doesn't have to be heavy. As long as you're working it, that's what matters, okay? So not big resistance, just make sure we're doing this. And this is something that you can do quite often during the week. And let's get going with that second set now, before I ramble on too much. Ready? Off we go. 5, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good work. You might notice as well that one arm might be better at this than the other. That's absolutely fine to start with. As you progress in time, you'll notice those imbalances start to even out. You don't necessarily, as I said, with the resistance, you don't need to do progressive overload with this. So you don't need to get heavier all the time. Just doing the exercise is enough. You know, it's just to counteract that constant internal rotation we're doing all day. When we push our wheelchairs, we internally rotate. When we're on our phones, we're internally rotated. When we're on our computers, internally rotated. Everything is in front of us, and that's internally rotated. Very rarely do we come back and externally rotate, so that's what this is great for. Let's go for the last set now. Off we go. So if you did this workout, I know 3 times a week, you'll start to see and feel a drastic change in your posture, and your ability to sit up taller, your ability to breathe, and all of these things are good for confidence in terms of looks and in terms of long-term health. 13, 14, 15, good work. Let's rest it there a little bit, and we're going to move on to our next exercise. I'm just going to open my window because it's bloody hot in here. Alright, so I'm just going to open it up. There we go. Alright, so the next exercise we're doing is moving on to still some more shoulder stability work, but we're going to work in a slightly different way. So this one, we're going to be facing what we're attached to directly. Now, I understand quite a lot of you guys got upper limb disabilities as well, so I'm going to demonstrate this in a few different ways that might be okay. So I'm going to first demonstrate the optimal way, which is having it in front of us with the resistance on. I'll go back a little bit. So you want the resistance to start about here. So here's slack, here's resistance, and then you're pulling it up towards your ear, okay? So there, if I wanted to, I could tickle my ear and then back again. So that would be 1 rep, and that would be the ideal one, okay? So from there, that's called a face pull. So it's literally pulling it towards your face and pulling it slightly behind, and you end up in a position what looks like a bodybuilder doing a bicep curl, like a show-off thing, and like that. But we're not using our biceps pull, we're using our back to pull, just like that. If you can't get your arm up into this position, do not worry. The next solution is to just do it at a lower angle, so to here. Or if you can't do that, then putting it to your side, just like so. So you can have your arm straight and pulling it just like that, okay? So there's just a number of different ways you can do it. But basically what we're doing is bringing that elbow backwards, okay? And while we go along, I'm going to show you an extra one to make it even harder if this one is too easy, okay? But let's get going on the first set, and I'll explain the little bit harder one after that. So you ready? Again, 3 sets of 15, off we go. 3. Sitting up nice and tall. I've got my hand here for a bit of stability so I'm not falling forwards. 8. 12. 13, 14, 15. Good work. Rest in there. And let's stay with one arm at a time, because I know if you guys have got to attach yourselves, if you're constantly switching between the two, it can be a bit annoying. So yeah, we're going to stick on one side, rest in between, and then we're going to move on to the other arm, okay? Good work so far. Anyway, so yeah, the harder one we can do here, so if that was too easy, is pull it straight out to the side and then back. And that's going to work the same muscle, but it's going to be a hell of a lot harder. That's because our anchor point is further away from us, or our attachment point is further away. Okay, so let's go to this next set now. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Let's rest again. And then we're going to go for that arm one more time, and then we're going to swap over to the other arm. But I hope you're enjoying it so far, guys. It's just a little bit of a workout to improve that shoulder stability stuff, alright? So hopefully it will help you long term. And I know there's some guys out there that can attest to how important shoulder health is. You know, you don't want any tears or any sort of impingement in that area. This is going to definitely help to strengthen it and to make sure you're okay long term. Okay, let's go for the last set now on this arm. Ready? Off we go. Eight. 13, 14, 15. Good. We're going to swap arms now to the other side. I'll give you a little bit of time just to swap over, or you can just pause the video if you need a little bit longer. I'm going to swap over to this side now. So on this arm, doing exactly the same, but just with a different arm, basically. So, you ready? Off we go. 5, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Okay, so we've got 2 more sets of that, and then we've got 1 more exercise after this as well. So it's just 3 exercises, but they're all really good for helping your shoulder stability, okay? Alright then. So yeah, hope you're enjoying the series of videos so far. We've got more coming in the future, which I'm very excited to share with you. That's right here on Willpower YouTube channel. But if you want to see more exercise stuff, I've got lots over on Adapt to Perform, so you can come and check me out and see what I do. The words are up there. Alright then guys, let's get going on the next set. Off we go. And again, you can make it harder putting it out to the side. That's going to add a little bit more, or you can get a heavier resistance. So for this one, that's fine with getting extra resistance because we're working on the back muscles a bit, and these ones are fantastic for helping support those little muscles and keep that posture there and keep you nice and strong. 13, 14, 15. So what these do, if your shoulders are rounding like this, those back muscles are loose, it's going to help tighten it up. And you're going to sit up taller, stronger, you're going to look better, you're going to feel better, you're going to be breathing better. It's all fantastic stuff. Often overlooked, but super important. Okay, let's get going on this final set now. And as always, if you need more rest during this, you can just hit the pause button and just pause button on the video and just do a bit more rest. But let's get going on this last set. 3, 2, 1, off we go. 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good work. So that is 3 sets done there of that. Let's move on to the final exercise. And this is possibly my favourite exercise at all. I mean, I love working the shoulders because it feels like I'm making progress towards my goals and that. But this is my favourite exercise just because it feels like I link everything together that I do into one exercise, okay? So I think it's an excellent one. Okay, so for this, it can be a little bit difficult to get the same range of motion that I've got. However, just go the most you can, okay? And I've been speaking to some people that have done this workout, and yeah, just do what you can on this, okay? So, to do this, you're going to start with it here. It's going to be slack to start with, but it starts to put on the resistance, okay? So pull it down here, and we're going to lift our arm up as high as we can, then bring it in forwards, and then bring it back up, and then down to the side, and then forwards. I'm going to face you a little bit so you can see it from this angle as well. So it'll be like this. So you're going to pull towards you, and then you're going to go up, and then you can go forwards, and go back up, to the side, here. If you can only go this distance, that's fine. Just go, pull it down at the lowest point you can, bring it up as high as you can, and then bring it forwards, just wherever you can get to, okay? We're going to do 3 sets of 6 because 1 is going all the way around. So, yeah, we're going to do 3 sets of 6 on each arm. Okay. There. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, off we go. So that is 1. Again, if you can only get to here, that's fine. But what it's doing is increasing that stability through a range of motion, because our muscles work in more than one plane of motion. You know, it's not just flexion or extension. You know, it's not just moving. It is doing stuff in lots of different ways, especially when we're pushing our wheelchair. There's lots of stuff going on. So we should counteract that at the opposite end. to make sure these muscles are getting worked through their full range. Last one. Good work. Okay, let's rest it there a bit. So yeah, here, because if we just pulled in one direction, so it's here, that muscle's only going to get worked here. It doesn't understand being worked here or worked here. So pulling it, holding that resistance, pulling it up high as you can, and then going forwards and then back around again. It's just making the muscles work in all of their positions where they need to be worked, okay? So it's an important thing to do with our workouts. And let's get going with the second set here of this arm. Off we go. So up and then down, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. Good work. We've got one more on this arm before switching over to the second arm and the last bit we're doing today. So yeah, I hope you've been enjoying this workout. As I said earlier, you can see more of this sort of stuff coming in the future. I'm working more with willpower, but if you're impatient, you can come and check out my stuff. Adapt to perform. That's the words there. Just search it in your favourite social media stuff and you'll be able to find me. So yeah, all good. Okay, this one is tough, so we're going to have a little bit extra rest here, making sure that we can complete it. Don't be ashamed to have more rest or to not do as many sets. We've all got to start somewhere, and as long as you're trying and you're being consistent over time, that is what matters. Let's get going on the last set on this arm. Off we go. Excellent. 2 more. Good work. Okay. Right. I've actually forgotten. Let's change arms now. Move on to this arm. Okay. So yeah, moving on to this arm now. So for this, same again. You might find, again, you might have different muscle imbalances depending on your level of injury, depending on how much training you've done over the years, and there's so many variations. Do not worry if you can't do one arm quite as well as the other. That is not an issue. It's just something you can work on over time, or if you have got the muscle imbalances due to your injury, it's just something that we have to deal with. But as we can carry on training, don't let it dishearten you. You can still improve it, which is always a good thing. So let's get going on this side now. That's 1. That's 2. As you can see, my brakes aren't working too well. If you have this issue too, you can either have someone hold you from behind, which is obviously a good way to do, or you can put something in front of your wheels. 2 more. Last one. Good. We've got 2 more on that arm and then we will be done. So make sure you're putting all the effort into making sure that you're doing it properly, or doing it to the best of your ability, I should say. That's what it's all about. The great thing is this workout is super scalable, so you can make it harder, you can make it easier, depending on your level of ability. And that's what I try to achieve with all my workouts, is that anybody can do it. Doesn't matter if you're disabled or not, or if you're quadriplegic or paraplegic, if you've got spina bifida, if you've got cerebral palsy, whatever it might be, there's something out there that you can do, which is fantastic. And if you can't do on that workout, I'm sure I've got another one that you can find. Alright then, ready, off we go. That's 2. Good work. One last one to go and we'll be done. Make sure as well, as I said in the intro, to stay hydrated throughout the workouts. The only reason I'm not keeping picking up a drink spot on that is because of I'm talking a lot. Quite simple. Alright then, let's get going on this last one, guys. Let's make it a good one. It's 3. Let's do one last one. Good work. Don't let the resistance band drop off, especially if you've got someone holding it. Let's just ease it down there, guys. Thank you so much for joining in today's workout. I really hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I love doing this kind of work. I think it's absolutely fantastic. It feels like I'm doing real good service to myself, my body, and making sure that my shoulder health is staying strong and healthy over a long amount of time. If you've been joining in with these workouts, thank you so much for joining in and doing them. It's been a pleasure making them for you. I've got more on the way here with Willpower and Sport England, so be sure to check those out. But if you're impatient and want to check out more stuff, you can find me at Adapt to Perform. That's that word there. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, wherever you want to find me. So you can come and find me there. My name's Ben. I'm a C7 quadriplegic personal trainer, and it's been a pleasure serving you. Thank you very much, guys. I will see you in the next video.